Hi everyone, Daniel here, the creator of the relationship model of addiction. And I'm here to provide guidance for you on your journey from unhealthy addictive relationships, getting out of those and into healthy, emotionally nourishing relationships. We've been talking about 3 stages of recovery: breaking up, developing a relationship with yourself, and then creating emotionally nourishing relationships on your own. Now, with this segment, this period for the next several weeks, we're going to be focusing on developing a relationship with yourself. And just to go over a couple of basic principles related to that, is that a relationship with yourself is about being aware of your experience, And it's an unfolding process of increasing awareness where you become more honest with yourself as you become more aware, and you discover more about yourself as you become more aware, because what you're becoming more aware of is what has been unconscious in your shadow, not on your radar for all these years, all this time. So this increasing awareness can be a very exciting journey as you will continue to discover things about yourself that you never knew were there. So I want to give you some share with you some experiences I've had in the last week, personal experiences along that line, how I've been discovering new things about myself on my path of recovery and developing a stronger relationship with myself. So as you know, I shared with you, last week and before that I'm a compulsive gambler. And the last video that I shared about was when I attended this gambling certification training. And that was a wild experience for a lot of reasons that I shared about last week. But one of the things that was really neat about it was they talked about something that sort of planted a seed, and it didn't register in the moment. And that was one of the triggers for compulsive gambling is having access to cash, or having cash lying around or money lying around, because that in itself is alive and triggering and can make you want to gamble, create that urge, set that off, that trigger, pulling that trigger. So I discovered, after all these years of gambling and being in recovery, I discovered still to this day that when there is money that I have in the bank, any excess amount of money, any amount of money that's sitting there that's not invested, whether it's in savings or in my checking account or whatever money I have access to, it's creepy, it haunts me, it plays on me, and it gets under my skin, and it makes me want to do something. So some of a few things that I discovered around that was there's money that I put aside for an investment, and the investment has not been made yet, and the money is just sitting there. And the money sitting there, it's really calling me. It's really uncomfortable for me. It's really anxiety-inducing and triggering me, because it's really hard for me to let that money be sitting there and not be invested and not be active and not be working. So I want to do something with it, and that triggers that. What I want to do with it is I want to play with it. I want to either invest it or make money or do something with it that's exciting. And the money, just the money being there and having access to it, triggers that impulse to want to gamble. Also, along the same line, there was another interesting thing that happened that I became aware of and discovered that this was so uncanny that there was, in terms of how I manage my money in my checking account, I had forgot, or I didn't know that I didn't pay a bill. So there was extra money in my account of like $1,000, but it seemed like I was flush with money, and I had extra money in the account, and I was doing really well. And so there's about $1,000 extra because of a bill that I hadn't paid that I thought that I paid. And what ended up happening, this was all unconscious. Again, this is about becoming aware of what's going on inside of you that you're not aware of. What I became aware of is that $1,000, I actually spent $1,000 extra this week on different things. I just kind of not pissed the money away. I made rational investments. I was mindful not to gamble it. However, it actually worked out that I needed to spend that money. It couldn't just sit there in my account. And I bought about 5 or 6 different things totaling about $1,000. And then after that, I found out that I didn't pay the bill and I owe the money. So now I have to pay the bill and I'm feeling really bad about myself. But I'm actually feeling good because I'm about myself, because I'm becoming more aware of what's going on inside of me with this driving forces, and that it's dormant, even though the addiction is always alive, no matter how well I'm doing, no matter how good I feel, no matter how great my relationships are, no matter how great my work is, no matter how great I feel about myself. At any time, I could be triggered, and what's triggering for me, and what I realize, is that having extra money around is really, really triggering. So now that I'm aware of it, remember I said developing a relationship with yourself is about becoming aware of your experience and acting. And now that I'm aware of what happens to me and this anxiety and this need to do something with the money, now I could be more empowered and more a choice and make establish special structures or parameters around what I'm doing. I could share more about my processes with my partners and my friends. Another thing about this recovery process and this developing awareness of your experience is that in addition to what I just shared with you about triggers that happen currently in my life under my radar, I'm also going back to a lot of the relapses that I had. A lot of times when I really crashed and burned in the stock market, acted impulsively, and started just going crazy in the stock market, my more recent relapses were due to having access to cash and needing to do something with it. And so if any time I had access to cash and there's extra money around, I would buy stocks and put it into stocks, and invariably, or buy more, or get more and more involved with it, or use that money, go on margin, borrow against that money so I can invest more, i.e. gamble more. And a lot of the last major crash and burns that I incurred gambling was in the stock market when there was access to money, and really got hurt, lost tens of thousands of dollars because of easy access to money. So what I'm doing right now is I'm not making any investment at all without conferring with someone else or someone else doing the transaction for me. I can't be trusted. Even though most of my consciousness and my intention is wanting to make good investments and build a nest egg for the future, when it comes to stocks, it comes to certain kinds of investments, I can't be trusted. I'm not safe because of the triggers that are going on that are not even on my radar, that are unconscious for me. So at any rate, we're going to wind this down here right now, and just the major point here, the major theme today is about always practicing mindfulness and increasing your awareness of what you're experiencing at any given moment in time, because your body is like a register. It's always, your body and your being are always reacting in a way, and a lot of your reactions and ultimate actions are coming from unconscious motivation, unconscious pain, unconscious desperation to relieve that pain. And the more conscious you are of it, the more you could redirect yourself, take better care of yourself, make better decisions. So on that note, we'll wind this down here, and I just so appreciate being able to talk with you and share this with you, and hope that you derive value from this. And until we meet again, the quality of your relationships is the quality of your life.